the Executive Director for this program, Mr. Anthony, and all the staff members that are assisting in rolling out this program, like Victoria, Martin, and the rest. MasterCard Foundation. MasterCard Foundation is not the first time I'm working with you. I'm sharing information with you. There's a program you handle in Northern Uganda and other parts of the country. It was very good. We ran it together. Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. You cannot talk about youth when this ministry is not invited, because they are the custodian of all youth activities. The youth that are present here, civil society, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to be with you here today as a guest speaker on this occasion involving the youth. I've already been introduced, but for other members who came late, Yapisi Ogwam is my name. I'm Assistant Commissioner in the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industries and Fisheries. I'm Assistant Commissioner in charge of agribusiness. I also handle youth activities within the ministry. I have other responsibilities that you will know as we go along. This program is very timely. It's coming at the time when it is most needed. It's coming at the time when we need them most. You understand that youth, it has already been presented here, youth are a majority. And all government policies and programs should involve them. We cannot go forward without involving them in government policies. So this program is timely because it's going to make the youth, it's going to uplift the youth voices everywhere, both urban and rural. Because if you talk about means of gender, labor and social development, the structure is up to the grassroots. We have officers at sub-county level handling rural youth. We have officers of the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industries up to the grassroots level handling youth. We have officers of Ministry of Education up to the grassroots level. As the Executive Director was talking, has already hinted on, we had a long discussion about how this program can be rolled out covering the whole country. So my speech will center on 3 areas. Introduction, I'll talk about what the ministry is doing, the ministry I work with. I'm most familiar with what we have done with youth, and also as for this program, the effect of COVID on youth that are involved in agricultural quarantine. As background, you know, agriculture is the backbone of the country. It employs about 77% of the population, and the contribution to GDP is about 22%. And yet, the contribution to employment is about 77%. This is some policy issues. There are so many people involved in agriculture. But what we are contributing to our GDP is little. What should we do? It's food for thought. Youth that are involved in agriculture is about 57%. And when we are talking about youth in Uganda, it's between 18 to 30 years. But you know for sure that in Uganda, youth at the age of 13 to 14 to 18, they're also very active and they also contribute to the economy. But for us, our law is youth begins from what? 18 years old to 30 years old. So that is the contribution. I need to give you this because it's very important. And also I need to give you how we develop our policy in the ministry and some of these government sectors, if not all. In Uganda, we have what we call Vision 2040. This one is to transform the country from peasant to modern and prosperous country. And our national development plan, we are now in NDP 3. That covers 2021 up to 2026. So our national development plan 3, the plan is to increase household incomes and improve quality of life of Uganda. That is the main goal of NDP 3, and that is where all our programs is geared towards. The objective of NDP 3 2020-21 up to 2024, 2025, 5 years program is to, 1, to enhance value addition with key growth opportunities. When we are talking value addition, we are talking about agricultural sector, we are talking about, what we are doing in oil and gas, to strengthen the private sector, to create jobs. Now, what we are saying is the government must have a hand in some of this development. If you are supposed to develop, for example, agriculture, we should not leave it wholly to the private sector. Government should have a hand in it, and that is why we are coming out with all these policies which I have talked about. Because any policy that we are going to do must be aligned towards National Development Plan 3. And under this NDP 3, for it to succeed, the following development strategies will be pursued. And in the NDP 3, if you read it properly, you will find agro-industrializations overemphasized. And it is always number 1. Why? Because the country has seen that for us to move forward, let us not leave agriculture behind. The policy in NDP 3 talks about oil and gas, development, promotion of export promotion, talks about enhancement of skills and vocational development, promote science, technology, engineering, and innovation, as well as ICT. Some of these we are going to do because we cannot develop agriculture alone. We have to do it with all other sectors. If you are talking about value addition, Ministry of Energy is very key in the issue of value addition. If we are talking about rallying the farmers, youth who like agriculture, we have to talk about means of gender, labor, and social development. So it is interministerial. So in agriculture, when we are talking about NDP 3, as a ministry, we are going to push it through agro-industrialization program. And under this agro-industrialization program, it aims to increase commercialization and competitiveness of agricultural production and agro-processing. Key results, when we do this agro-industrialization, what are the results? 1, increase in export value of selected agricultural commodities. At the ministry, we have strategic and priority commodities that the government is putting more emphasis on. Increasing the agricultural sector growth rate up to about 6% of the GDP. Increasing labor productivity in the agro-industrial value chain, creating jobs in agro-industry, and increasing the the proportion of households that are food secure. Strategies have already been presented to Cabinet towards the end of last year, and as I talked 2 or 3 days ago, it was presented to Parliament Committee on Agriculture. And we think that if we use this strategy, we are going to develop agriculture. We shall take agriculture to next level. That would be inclusive. That would involve everybody. One, out of this strategy, we are going to do a lot on enterprise selection. You know very well that we have zoned the country to about 12 zones, agro-political zones, properly studied, and we have zoned the various enterprises according to the zones, carefully studied. And also another strategy which we are going to do in order to increase agricultural production and productivity. We are going to do so many things like research, the issue of pests and diseases, the issue of fake seeds, fake agricultural inputs, the issue of encouraging the use of fertilizer, the issue of agricultural mechanization. All these issues, when others, will lead to increasing production and productivity of the various enterprises that I've talked about. The third area which we are going to see is improving post-harvest handling and storage of priority commodities, covering all the country. Case in point, there is a project called Agricultural Cluster Development Project. It's handling agriculture along the value chain, increasing production and productivity, the issue of post-harvest management, and the issue of markets, whereby we have installed processing facility to about 57 districts of Uganda. On post-harvest handling and storage, so many stores has been built in these 57 districts, and a lot of capacity building given to farmers and farmer groups. Small. As I go about, you will hear what the ministry, what the government, what Ministry of Gender, what we are doing with them on youth. I've already said that youth in Uganda, age ranges from 18 to 30 years old. Majority of the youth live in rural areas, and they are practicing subsistence agriculture. So, as I've said, and from my presentation, youth that are engaged in agriculture is about 57%. So, as a ministry, we have to put policies that are geared towards improving the lives or encouraging these youth to take part in agriculture. Because if we talk about, it is a youth between 18 to 30 years old is about 20 to 23% of the population. And this is a big active population. That we have to involve them in agriculture. If you see the population structure, between 0 to 19, we have about 25 million. And this 0 to 18 or 19, most of them are dependent. We have to work for them. The productive age between 20 to 39 years old is about 13 million. And from 40 years to 60, where I belong, is about 5 million. And from 60 and above, it's about 125. You can see how skewed our population structure is. So you find that from 60 and above and below 18, these are dependent. It's depending on a very small population. So over 50% of the population, if you see here carefully, are dependent. So the small population that is going to work, that you have to engage them in serious policy so that they can work. And this youth which I'm talking about 23% of the population. So, let me give you the general intervention, what the government of Uganda has done to improve on the life of the youth.